Well, hello. It is time for Muppin Sewing Emporium. How are you doing tonight? I am wonderfully well. How is it going? My friends, I am Cheryl, your host, the Muppin of Muppin Sewing Emporium. I am here to yes, live to you through the power of the internet from beautiful downtown Paducah, Kentucky. Where are you watching from tonight? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a like, whatever you want to do there, so that I know that you can hear me. Welcome to Friday. It's Friday, and we've got a lot to get through tonight. It is a beautiful day today. It was actually warmer than it has been, and it's supposed to be even warmer still tomorrow, which makes me very happy. I love when it is nice and crisp and fall, but yet a little bit warm out, so that you will want to come down to downtown Paducah and shop. This weekend is downtown Paducah's holiday open house weekend, and we are all opening our doors and letting you come and see our little shops and enjoy your time here. Since I was here last, we've had some sad news in the world of Muppin. One of our kitty cats, the very uh, energetically named Vermithraxis, Destroyer of Worlds, has crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and we are sad. So, it's been a very, very tough week for me, with the passing of my dear little kitty. But we still have her sister, her litter mate, at home, and they came to me as kittens, and I have had them 17 years. 17 years. So, Vermi, as I like to say, made it 17 years. So, she had a nice, extremely long life, and she was, yes, so just hitting us in all the feels this week, with the passing of our kitty cat. So, anyway, on to happier things. We have new fabric in the house. We have a new collection. We have fat quarters of the brand new Tula Pink Besties. And these are brand new into the shop. We also have a new sample in the shop, and I'll be showing you this very shortly. So, the other thing that I wanted to make sure that you knew about was that we have a brand new heirloom sewing technique of the month box. And this month's box contains vintage pieces of quilts and clothespins for you to make a beautiful vintage heirloom Christmas ornament for your tree. So we have this in our going on right now in our shop, the heirloom sewing technique of the month box. And can I just say, let me pull up the, the video that is in the stream, and let me just make sure that this is working, because let me tell you, for weeks now, every time I pull up this video, it does not work. So now it works. Of course it does. So it's one of those things where the moment I'm going to check on it, it does work. The moment I don't check on it, that's when it's not going to work. So let me get this all set up. So here are the new fabrics. We're going to go through that in a moment. And last week, the camera rig all came undone, smashed everywhere, was kind of like a weird thing that happened. And today, yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you. Is this is a piece of the, why is it not, there we go. This is a piece of that quilt that is in the heirloom box. Can we talk about that? Tiny little hand stitching. It's insane how tiny it is. It's beautiful. Oh, so good. Marsha from Houston. I am jealous. I wish I was in Houston right now. I am not. I am here instead. But yes, the Houston Quilt Festival is going on right now. So take a look at that. That is the tiniest little hand stitching you ever did see. Now, I talked about this quilt and the pieces that I have left over of it. And I will say that this quilt was cut into well before I ever tried doing anything with it. Okay, so I did not chop this beautiful scalloped edged with this beautiful tiny bias binding on it. I didn't cut this up. Somebody else did. But I do have its leftovers. And one of the things was what is in it, because it's got such a tiny, thin batting inside of it. And it does have a batting, but it's so thin. It's like, it's barely a scrim. And I was actually wondering if it's a piece of fabric, but it is not. I thought it was fabric inside of it, but it's not. It's just like this tiniest little thin wisp of a batting. And it's amazing. So what's left of it, sadly, for whoever made it, is going into the heirloom boxes. So you will get a chunk of it in your heirloom box to make your heirloom butterflies. The it also comes with a brand new set of our swabs, and it's not, I don't think it's flannel, Marsha. I really don't. I've been trying to look at it, and it's I don't think it's flannel. But I can't really get a good section of it open enough to really look at it. But it doesn't look like it's flannel. It also comes with 10 of these beautiful diamond vintage, I mean, and they're just so beautifully glossy, these mother of pearl buttons. You'll get 10 of these along with enough, a doily, a square of the quilt, 2 what am I calling it? Clothespins. Took me a hot second. And 10 of these beautiful. And that is a $25 box. So now would be the time to get in on it. It will ship December 3rd. and we have that going on. I also want to point out to you, we have lots of new, like nifty Notion things that you should check out. They are really cool. This one I know you will like. These, you will get 3 of our magnets per pack. So you're going to want to look for these. These are our magnets, are so what do we call them? I always have clever, like funny little names for them, and I know I called them something like adorable. So let's find, oops, back up. There we go. They are called So Attractive magnets. They are our So Attractive magnets. So we've got these So Attractive magnets. They come in these colors, but you will get 3 of one color that per package. And I love these things. They are so incredibly handy, and I use them for, I want to say I use them for everything, but here's just some of what you can do. You can put this on the edge of your project, and now it is a needle minder. Okay, you can use it to keep 2 pieces of fabric together instead of clips. So if you have something that is going to you don't want to leave a hole in it, like you're sewing with cork, or you're sewing with vinyl, or any of those types of things, you're going to want a magnet that does not, that does not leave holes. Those clips too, sometimes the teeth of the clips can damage the surface of your fabric. That is, if you're using a particular like shiny vinyl or anything like that, oh, those clips, those pins, they'll leave holes. These magnets do not do that. The other thing about these magnets is that they are easy to pull apart. Okay, so I know that there are other magnets on the market that are really difficult. Leather, yes, Marsha, absolutely. So these are easy to pull apart. So any of the other magnets that they're held together super strong. I'm not saying that these aren't strong, but they are also easy to pull apart because of the silicone cord that's holding them together. Now, one of the things I like to do with these is I like to stick them into the edge of my shirt like that. And if you're at all like me, when you are pinning, and yes, you can have a pin cushion right there in front of you, it does not matter. I will still stick the pin in my shirt. Don't know why I do it. I go to the store and people will say, you got a pin in your shirt. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So I have been taking them and sticking them to this instead. So 1, I'm not putting holes in my shirts. And 2, I can remove all of them at once. They also make a great cord wrap for any of your cords. I have a few of them here on the set where we are using them to keep our electronic cords in place. So that's another use that you can do. They also stick really well to any kind of metal. So I'm going to try to show this. Oh, no, it's not in this shot far enough. I can't get it. There we go. See how I have it holding my cords together here and out of the way. So that's just some of the many uses that we have for this handy little tool. Now, we've had these for some time. And so if you, these are the colors. There are 8 different colors. and you'll get 3 per pack. So definitely take a look for these. These are awesome. I love them. They're fantastic. And we have those. The other new thing that is in our shop are the Tidy Up disposable swabs. Now, you are probably saying, Cheryl, I have Q-tips and I just use those at my machine. And here's the thing. If you are using a Q-tip, these have permanently bonded fibers that are permanently bonded to the tips of these. And let me tell you, I just used one today on my sewing machine and it just grabs everything. Super able to scoop out all that fluff and dust and all that nastiness. And this pack here is $3. So you can feel comfortable getting all the use that you can out of it. And when it turns as black as the stick, it's time to throw it away and bust out a new one. So these are also great for oiling any kind of small parts that you have. So on my sewing machine, on the one of the feet that has a spring, the spring is rubbing against the post and it squeaks. So I took a little bit of oil, dabbed a little bit of oil on this, was able to get that right in there, right on that little spring, and now it doesn't squeak anymore, and it's very well taken care of. So these are fantastic. I asked my friend Andy over at the Sewing Doc, and she teaches sewing machine repair. And she tells me these are the swabs that she recommends. So if they are good enough for Andy, the Sewing Doc, they are good enough for me. And that makes me feel comfortable offering them to you. So our Tidy Up disposable swabs, $3. We have the So Attractive magnets, $6. So those are 2 of our new things. And then we have brand new spool huggers. And you're thinking, that doesn't look like a spool hugger. That looks like a flower. Well, they come in a set of 4 for $2. And you can wrap this right around your spool. Now, you're probably thinking, like my good friend Charlotte said, if I had to buy those, I would need to buy 200 of these for all of the spools of thread that I own. And while I would love for you to do that, I am not suggesting that you buy one for every single spool. Just the spools that you are going to toss into your sewing bag. Spools like these that don't have an easy way for you to capture the thread, or you don't want anything to happen to that thread. So you just wrap this around it, and then you don't get those unruly, unspooly threads that happen. So you'll get 4 in a pack. We have pink, blue, green, orange. I almost said yellow, but they're kind of a yellow orange. It's more of an orange, like that color orange, and a multi-pack, which is one of each color. So if you have a particular color that you love, guess what? We probably got that covered. And so you'll get a 4-pack, and you'll be able to wrap up 4 different spools. And they do they're very they've got like that memory, that plastic memory that decides to curl up on itself. And that's great, because once you take it off of these, you can always put it on a different one or on a tiny little spool that will keep everything in its place. So Lots of new little, like little smalls. We like to call them smalls around here. And we like the smalls because we always have people who come into our shop and they're looking for gadgets. We are the gadget like destination. So if you like gadgets and gizmos and sewing things, please check out our website going by there on the bottom, because we have lots of cute little spool huggers, swabs, magnets, thread pickers, you name it, we got it. And my friends, I know that there is something that is going to be restocked next week that is going to make a few of you so happy. Yes, they're back. They are going to be restocked on Monday, I believe, and that is the long out of stock needle pullers. Needle pullers. Can I tell you that my good friend Kelly Klein, if you don't know who Kelly Klein is a fantastic quilter, and she does a class on making vintage pincushions, which you know is right up my alley. And she fell in love with these needle pullers, and they have been sold out from us ever since. And I have been trying to get them back in stock ever since. And let me tell you, while I was waiting for these to come back in stock, I tested at least 6 other brands of these types of needle pullers. And these silicone ones are by far the best. There is literally no substitution for these in particular. I have been waiting for these to come back in stock. I can't even tell you how long. So they're back. They're coming to my website on Monday. So once they are back in stock, I will absolutely shout it from the rooftops. Yes, I put one in every box as well. Now, I would sell you these, but these are mine and they've been used. You can see that they have been loved. And I am not kidding when I say I tested literally every brand on the market of these. And this one that we have coming back into stock is by far the best. And here's why. It's 3 different sizes. Now, I don't want to say that I do not have long, delicate bird-like fingers. Okay. I have short, stubby, stout German heritage fingers. And these stretch enough to fit my little fat fingers. And one of the things that some of the other brands did not do was they were not as flexible as this particular type of silicone. So I'm not kidding when I say I have them in like all different colors, and I have them in clear and blue and all these other, and I thought, oh, how cool, I'll be able to offer all these colors. No, because the moment I tried to put them on, I could feel how stiff they were, how difficult to get onto my finger I felt like they were. And then I went and dug my set out of my sewing box, and it went on, and they stretch so nicely. And I went back to the other set, and they were just not as good. So When I say that I have tested, that I have curated, that I have done all of these things, um, I mean it. I did the work to find the exact tools that I could recommend, and stand behind. And that's exactly what these are. And trust me, oh, so glad that they're back. And when you are sewing and you're starting to feel that fatigue in your hand, okay, and you are trying to do that pull, right? You might be working on an embroidery, you might be working on something. There are a lot of things that will make your job easier when you are sewing, and having tools like these, uh they definitely help. And let's, show you here with the with this set, right? You get this, and now you can actually grab that needle, okay? That, I mean, it is really gripping the metal, and that is that silicone. And because the silicone is flexible, it has more grip to it. Okay, like I don't really know how to describe that, but it's got that grip. I Again, when I tested these other brands, because they were stiffer, they were not as they weren't as flexible. I also felt like when you went to grip with them, they did not grip as well, because there was less flexibility in the material. So they are not all made equal. Don't let anyone tell you that they are. They are not. That they are finally coming back into stock. The other thing we have restocked, needles are very, very, very popular, and our brand of needles are back in stock, well stocked. And this is not that. This is just a regular pin. Very happy that our needles are back in stock. So that, my friends, is what we have on restocks, on needles, on whatever. And I am just now looking in the camera and noticing how grown out my roots are. I should start wearing like a headband or a hat or something. The other thing I just have to show you, I was digging in a box and I found the loveliest little doily. Isn't this pretty? I just so I I'm a sucker for other people's needlework. This was one. This was one that I just could not let go. So this one is in I have a box, and it's a box, so I am finally sorting through all of my vintage linens. I know. And one of the things we're going to be doing here in the shop, and I believe this will be for our upcoming Black Friday sales, is in store. You will be able to get vintage linens and purchase direct from our stash. But in that process, right, comes the, does this one stay or this one goes? Well, I can tell you this one is staying. But I just look at how dimensional it is. I just love it. It's not terribly big. It's, probably 10 inches square. But wouldn't this be lovely appliqued onto a quilt? just think that would be so amazing. So I have been finding little friendly doodads, and because so I am certain I tell you this a lot, but we are sandwiched between two antique stores. There's one on the corner, one on the other corner. And our shop is kind of, well, not quite in the middle, but we're kind of in the middle. And this was in the quilt in one of the shops. And it's tatting. Look, and it's huge. Okay. Look at this. It's huge. It's enormous. I think it's a table runner. Oh, oh, just so beautiful. Right? So I'm gonna just wear it. It's that gorgeous. Um yeah, it is. It's everything, Marsha. I agree. I agree. I so agree. It is so when I bought it, you will not believe. Okay. So let's pull this back up on the screen. So I see it, it's like all folded up. And I do like, I mean, it's got one area that's damaged and one area that is a little stained. Like here's the area that's damaged. I feel like that's an easy fix. I know enough about tatting that I could probably fix that up, no problem. And it's got a little bit of staining that's happened right here. It's that discoloration is it's not your screen. It's actually there. That's it. This piece was $9. $9. And the amount of work for just one round of this is worth $9. I am shocked and stunned and saddened and all the things that this ended up in a antique store for $9. So I couldn't do it. So there you go. Now Mary, how are you? $9 for my table runner. And I will say that it's not like, I wonder if she did use it as a shawl, because I would, right? I mean, it's a gorgeous piece. So I don't know. I'm just goofing. But yeah, I mean, like to have your handwork end up uh in the antique store. So I mean, I get it. My babushka. Yes. Well, we did just talk about how I have like little sausage like fingers. I could, I do feel very yes, yes, I am going for the Italian. Is it Italian? My Italian grandmother look. There we go. Feeling very yes. Feeling my I would love that was what this was used for. But I'm just saying. It's beautiful and I could not leave it there. I mean, of course I was like, oh, and Charlie's like, oh. So, this has been in the collection for a while, but it has just been re-unearthed. We've been doing a lot of the re-unearthing lately. So there's that. Let's talk about besties. This is the camera is like sliding. It's in every which direction. You're gonna have to hold on for a second here because it is having a moment. Um, I just, I just took, I just broke a piece of it off of the thing here. Oh, that's fun. Anyway, how would I do this while I work on this? Yeah. So we have had, kind of a rough week with the kitty cat news, and it's just been we're also feeling a lot of like that FOMO because everybody's in Houston and at the big quilt show, and I'm not there. And it's okay because, I have my shop and my customers, and that's all been fantastic. But it's also there's been a lot of FOMO. And I don't like to admit sometimes that I get FOMO, but definitely kind of have the FOMO going on. I'm not going to lie. So, all right. And I'm just going to reposition the camera. All right. It really does not want to behave today, but we will just pretend like it will. Okay, camera, work with me. This is Tula Pink's newest fabric line. Marsha's given us the tea. The vendors were good, but it is a very small quilt show. I did hear this. I did hear that about the show, and I think from years past, the George R. Brown Convention Center, which is huge. I forget how many football fields it is, but it's the equivalent of like a few or a couple football fields. And they're only using half of the convention center. So if this was all the space before, and they're now only using half, and then it used to be half vendors, half show, right? Well, now it's half the space, and the show is now a quarter of what it used to be. Oh my. Well, it's a really tough thing that we're experiencing here in the quilt industry, and that is the pandemic has had much more far-reaching effects than we thought it was going to, because there's several factors going on. One is that, unfortunately, not a lot of people survived COVID. And I mean that like literally, like people died. And the ones who didn't are not necessarily young people. And our industry is full of vendors who had the momentum of going from show to show to show to show. And when you stop that forward progress, that forward momentum, and you give them a year at home, and then you say, now go back out on the road, I can tell you it was really difficult the first time I went back out on the road. And it was, and I'm 10, sometimes 15, in some cases 20 years younger than some of the vendors. So if I'm having a hard time like physically adapting to going back on the road, imagine what someone who's 20 years my senior is going through. And I could not blame them for wanting to retire. And that's what happened. So I think the numbers that we were hearing right after the show circuit started back up was the show vendor pool shrunk 40%. And so when you don't have you lose 40% of your vendors, your show is that much smaller. So you don't need to rent that much space anymore. Because that's also expensive for the show, but they're making 40% less on booth fees because who's buying those booths? And what we as an industry have not done, and I haven't had the chance to talk about this in a long time. I talk about it a lot in our Patreon for our to business Patreon that I do, but we don't talk about our uh what we're doing to encourage new businesses into the industry, because that's not happening. We're not. And if you look at who is opening a new quilt shop or opening a new quilt business, they're retired from another industry at an age that's already up there. And I'm not saying that we need, a whole bunch of 30-year-olds to come into the industry, but we need to make it an industry worth someone choosing this over a corporate career. And we are not doing a very good job of incubating new businesses in our industry. I have said that well before the pandemic, and I will continue to say that because it's still true. Marcia says we had a lot of out-of-state and international vendors, and that's absolutely true. It is an international show, which is great. But one of the things about Houston is that it did pull from a lot of the pool around Texas, all the states around Texas. And again, for a lot of us, hey, I think Houston's a great show. And we would have considered vending at it, but the booth fees are at pre-pandemic pricing, and that's kind of high. So what you need to do is to have, an incubation price for new vendors. You need to show them that it's worth going to, but part of the reason that it's really difficult to do Houston is the cost of Houston. And I'm not meaning the booth fees. The booth fees are kind of comparable to other companies. I mean, there are a lot of companies that are cheaper, but it's the cost of Houston. The hotels in Houston they're astronomical. And that's not a NASA pun. They are so high. It's like $400 a night. Because the convention center is literally downtown. So it makes parking expensive. So once again, yes, you can go and stay out by the airport for $200 a night. It's not $100 a night. There ain't anywhere in the Houston area you're going to get $100 a night unless you stay at like a Roach Motel. And I have stayed at them, and I will not do that anymore. And then you can drive in, beat beat yourself down with Houston traffic, and then almost $50 a day to park. So you might as well stay in a $200, $300 a night hotel because you would have to park every day anyway. So it's just the cost of doing it. Now, also bear in mind, that's what the attendees have to pay too. So once again, not to put too fine a point on it, but I talk about this in my business to business Patreon. We are asking our fixed income consumers to pay $400 a night in hotel fees and stay in Houston because they don't want to walk very far. They don't want to, they want reliable transportation. So they want to be on the shuttle route, and none of those hotels are cheap. So I think one of them was like 200 something plus a night. And if you don't get the convention center rate, it's like $400 or $500 a night. And one of the things that is a common thing at these quilt shows is these ladies who are packing themselves like sardines into these hotels. Those of you from my comic book gaming Dungeons and Dragons days remember we would pack ourselves like sardines into hotel rooms for Comic-Cons and all of that. And I know you and I know me, I don't want to do that anymore. I did that when I was 20 and I don't need to do that while I'm 50. And yeah, so can we just say, like, the pricing of it has priced out and that keeps people away. So I'm not saying it needs to change venues. I'm just saying they should look at it. And if they decide that they need to go back to the George R. Brown, perhaps make a reason why, or at least do something to make it cheaper. Because otherwise it's just going to continue to keep people away. All right. Now, I shall step down off my soapbox. Now that I'm way down here in the corner, let's talk about these Tula Pink fabrics. They are so beautiful, aren't they? They're just fantastic. This is Tula Pink's first line with metallic accents. You heard that correctly. She has not done metallic. Oh, Marcia, you are coming in with the tea. You are coming in with that hot take. Agreed. And the show is not as good. Online is best shopping. There happens to be a website right here, right there going by, that you can follow that shows one of those places that you can shop. So we're going to talk about besties. One of the things that Tula Pink always said was that she would not do a collection featuring pets. This is her pet collection. So here is, now I will say that on a fat quarter of fabric, it's really difficult to get every single one of the pets, but I think she did a good job of making sure that you can get them all, I think. And if I'm not mistaken, on every fat quarter, you can at least get one of each. Now, here's what she said. The style of pets. Okay, she could only include like so many type of, like, the little Chihuahua, and then the Dalmatian, and then the Frenchie, and the Golden, and, the Rottie, and, is it a Whippet? I don't even know if that's a Greyhound or a Whippet. So you get the sense that, you know, you see what I'm saying here though, right? Because it's hard to, it would be, there's so many different kinds of pets that it would be difficult to like have a collection with every single pet on it. Okay. So this one is her called Puppy Dog Eyes. Then you have this one here with sort of like, I feel like this has got a Japanese influence. Then comes, here's where that metallic comes in. And you've got the chains with best friend on them. So so this is where the name of the collection comes from as besties. Okay, so that's the name of the collection. And this is her first collection with metallics. So there's that. Then there is the fish print, because she didn't want this just to be about dogs, right? She did a whole cat collection. And there is a cat in this collection. But it's not a cat-based collection. So this one has these fantastic goldfish. The fleur, like, they're just amazing. Also, the little treasure chest and the metallic fish. Okay, so that's where the metallics come in. They're on the dog collection, and it's just like around the cameos and in these sprays. So they are on some of the fabrics. It's not on all of the fabrics, but it's on some of the fabrics. So that's the fish. Then you have the bunny rabbits, which they're so cute. Oh my gosh, they are directional, which sometimes can be a challenge, but aren't they cute? So I do see metallic on it. It's kind of a dark, like a gunmetal. It's not really, but you can see there, it's metallic. So, this is her first metallic collection, which I was surprised about. I for some reason thought there was other metallics in the collection. Keep flipping it over. There we go. It's turtles. Look at the turtles. They're so cute. So again, just love this graphic look of hers. The turtle has a lot of detail. Okay. One of the things that I will never, you cannot say about Tula is the amount of detail and the amount of line work that is in her collections. And that is really, really evident here. Okay, this is very fine line work, very fine details here, which, is on a piece that's like 2 inches big. This is why her fabrics hold their value. I am not kidding when I say people buy Tula Pink and stash it away and then sell it down the line for like hundreds of dollars. Not suggesting that that's what you do, because that would be speculation. And I'm not really about that speculator life. But there you are. Okay, so here's the cat print, which you gotta admit is super graphical and very cute. I don't know if Tula plays I like turtles. I do too. And I don't know if she plays a game called Monument Valley, but this has Monument Valley to me written all over it. So again, line work. We're talking about they're very tiny. This is probably a really great print for fussy cutting. So you can get like this is probably hex. You could put that on a good hexagon. So you would get a good hexy out of this. So I think these are very, 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 very cute. This one, the cat one, I don't remember what the name of this print is. It also has just a tiny bit of metallic in it also. So that's really, I love that one. Here is the hamster print. And you've got like these, as they're called, it's called tossed. When any fabric that, and can we just say this, I'm trying to get the color to come up on this the right way. Okay. It's a very kind of neon buttery yellow. So when you have the hamster dance, here you go. When you have a fabric or a character on a fabric that is in all the directions, okay, where this is now not a directional fabric, that's what they call a tossed fabric. So, all right, I'm trying to get this to warm up because there's more of the color. This camera does all kinds of crazy things. Anyway, when the character is turned like that, it's the same hamster, just, every which way. That's called a toss. So when you have a character like that, it's tossed. Tossed hamsters. A hamster salad. All right. Then we have more of the accent fabrics. This one with the hearts. We have this one with that, again, with that Japanese influence, very lime green, not neon though, but these do complement the neons really well. So if you have the neons from the shop, you'll know. And then we start to get into the same fabrics, but in different colorways. So here is the alternate colorway of the goldfish with the gold metallic accent. The hamster in a teal colorway, tossed hamster salad. I don't know. I'm not calling it that. That's not the name of the fabric. The cats in like a blue-green colorway. Kind of like that. Again, with that Japanese feel. And I am not, like, that's not just the camera doing that. Like, it looks like that in person. Like, it is really, it's it's wigging me out. It's wiggity on the camera. Here is again the gold best friends. We've got more teal. Here's the turtle in blue. Oh, so great. So good. This is such a beautiful fabric. You have the dogs, and the fire hydrants are in blue with like a red accent. I didn't know if I was gonna like this fabric, because when we first saw this fabric, it was not real. It was like on a card. And yeah, I love that turtle. The turtle's great. This one, I don't know if I like the dogs, but I love everything else. So I don't know what that says about me, but um and I could not envision the dog. The dogs are awesome. I mean, they are very beautifully rendered, but I don't know how I feel about the pop of red. Some people love that and some people don't. I think I like it better on the other fabric, I think. Okay. Once again, yeah, it's just a wiggity fabric to look at. It's a woo. Yeah, it's doing that. And then you have more accent. And yeah, like that color, like it really does that in person too when you look at it. It's kind of weird. And then uh the bunny. I think the bunny is better in the blue. Because not only because of the moon and like the thing, but I just like the bunnies better in blue. Plus, the metallic is a nicer accent on the blue than it is on the pink. Now, from my understanding, okay, it's like two different color ways, and they kind of split here, and there's like cool colorways and warm colorways. And I love the bunnies on the blue too. I really do. I think I like it way better. And so, her concept here was like to split it, and you would end up, I don't know if I split it evenly, but you'll get like a cool colorway and a warm colorway. But this is the full collection. We have these in stock right now on the website. They're not going to last long. People have already, excuse me, been buying them from the shop. So I'm just saying, if you're thinking about it, you got to think about it soon. They are a fantastic thing. If you do love animals, this is going to be the perfect collection, because you do have all of this fussy cutting ability with all of these different fabrics. And I just think, because she didn't focus on one kind of pet, okay, I think that was a good move, because she said, okay, well, I've got the dogs, I've got the cats, I've got fish, I've got bunny rabbits, I've got hamsters. It's like all of the best friends are included, and it's called Besties. And it's got this sort of best friend print as part of it. And of course, everybody's going crazy for Taylor Swift, and I think this is going to be the hit fabric out of the collection. But we do not have any yardage of this because other stores in town have yardage. And so we took the position of selling the bundles only. So that's what we got. Okay. So now you've seen all of our new things, including our new collection, Besties. And I cannot wait to see what some of you make with this cool stuff. My friends, we are out of time. It is time for us to go forth. Oh, I didn't show you the other thing. There's one more thing. I'm sorry. I have one more thing. I have one more thing to show you. Okay. We have this adorable panel in stock right now. And I finally, I made I made the sample. And it took me like forever. I not because it is a difficult panel. Let me reiterate. The panel's not the problem. Cheryl is the problem. Okay? But here is the panel, and here's what it makes. And it is a Christmas advent calendar. And let me just say, I took one of the characters from the selvage, the little Santa Claus here, and I put him on a ribbon, and you can stick him into the pocket. This is the easiest, quickest make you ever could do. I don't know why I waited, because it was so incredibly easy. Look at how cute this is. It's got all the dates. This is quite literally like what you do is you take the date section, iron it, fold it, and then you fold all of the things, and then you sew down to create the little pockets. Could not be easier. Then it's backed like envelope style. So quick. Probably took me under an hour. Couldn't be easier. My friends, this panel's in stock. It's called The Magic of Christmas, and Advent panel. It's in the panels section on our website. Now, you do not have to put the Christmas lanyard, okay? You could just put candies or whatever in each of the pockets. And it's, oh yes, 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 yes. So great for that. We had growing up, we had a advent calendar that had a ribbon with a little Santa, and you count him down to, you know, all the dates. So that's what I decided to do. I just took the little Santa on the selvage. There was two. I just turned, back, and then you just move him, and he's attached so he doesn't get lost, right? Because like nobody likes to wonder what happened to our Santa. Well, if he's attached with a ribbon, then you don't have to lose him. Okay, he can stick out too, right? So this was so quick, so fun. I know I was like, I gotta make that sample, and I finally did it. So there you go. It's adorable. I feel like it's great little calendar size. Great little wall hanging. I think you guys are gonna be. I agree, Mary. I don't know why I waited. So you got to grab this one. It's in our shop, and you can come get it in the store, or you can get it online. Okay. Right. So that's what we got, my friends. It is time for me to go. I will see all of you next week. And for all of you who have reached out to us about our kitty cat, thank you so much. We do appreciate you. It has been really tough. I miss that little booger. She was 17, so she had a nice long life. Thank you. Thank you, Joy. Appreciate that. Good to see you here. Yeah, so my friends, I will see all of you next Friday for our Veterans Day video, and I will see